Now, some were kind of unnerved with one sermon because we dealt with the issue of death, dying from the business side. And I dealt with it in that way because what inheritance you leave to your children is determined by how much money, I'm going to say it like they say it in the barbershop, in the beauty parlor, how much money you put in the ground when you die. Amen. Many of us never stop to look at the fact we're going to leave here. We didn't come to stay. We're graveyard sons and daughters. We're singing, but we don't always connect what we are singing. Soon and very soon, we're going to see the King. If you miss me from singing down here and you can't find me nowhere, come on up to Bright Glory. I'll be waiting up there. We sing about crossing Jordan. I got one more river to cross. We sing about it. Stand still, Jordan. Let a child of God come home. We sing about it. But we've got to connect the fact that we're not singing about other folk. All right. We too will leave here. Working on some calendar issues and planning for 2010, I started looking back and I started counting up the number of funerals I have attended in 2009. I didn't preach all of them, I preached some, but I attended others. Family members of mine, family members of the church family. As of last week was funeral number 26. That's not counting the funeral that we have coming up on Tuesday. One of the members' mother passed. That's 27. We are leaving here. Amen. Now, since we're going, we got to get over that shock, I know. But since we're going, we need to decide how we go. Do we leave our family brokenhearted and broke? Amen. It's the question. You got to decide. When you look at it, I challenge all of us to look and see several things. Who's going to handle your business when you leave? Everybody has somebody in the family that's crazy. And your family might be you. I'm not saying that. But every family has somebody who's a bit, you not listen. Now, all of us have been at the family reunion, and you look around and a certain car pull up and you start talking, all right, now here they come. Don't say nothing. Whoever it is that doesn't have good sense, don't put them in charge of the business. Go ahead now and decide to take that drama and trauma off the other family members. Because if you leave so-and-so in charge, it's going to be a mess, and you know it. Amen. Decide where you're going to keep your papers. That was part of the homework. Working with a family this week, my grandfather died up in New York, one of the members. The funeral was 3 weeks ago. They haven't found an insurance policy yet. They know he had one, but they do not know where. Grandmother is at a point of her age. She's in a nursing home, so she doesn't have full recall. They didn't know what insurance company. So now, which means what? Everything had to be paid out of pocket, because now I want you to understand that it's a business. So when it comes time to make the arrangements for the service, you got to pay cash until you get the insurance, because the promise of insurance does not satisfy the bill at the mortician's office. They want the money. Amen. Because it is a business. All of this we got to look at. And we got to look at it while we're not having tears in our eyes. We've got to deal with it while we're not going through the stages of grief because during the stages of grief, we are unable to make the right business decisions when we have tears in our eyes and in our heart. So while, as they used to sing, the blood is running warm in your veins, that's the time. You got to decide, do you want cremation or casket? Now, I got an email this week I did not know. Walmart sells what? Isn't that something? Times have changed. Walmart, they sell tires. You can get your taxes done. You can get your eyeglasses. You can get your prescription. You can get your groceries. You can buy your socks. You can buy your clothes and your, amen. It's a new day, which means what? They understand it is a business. I went on the internet and I looked it up, and looking at the prices are in between the warehouse and the mortuary. Because here's the thing about it, a casket has the highest markup of anything you buy in your life. Amen. There are casket outlets in the city of Charlotte. Look in the telephone book. Call them up. Go in there while you don't have tears in your eyes, while nobody's sick. Go down there and look. You will discover you can get a casket at the warehouse for one price. If you go to the mortuary, they mark it up 8, 10 times. Amen. I'm not in business selling caskets, so I don't mind telling it. Some of my best friends are morticians. They hate when I have these kind of conversations. One of the things is, if you're going to leave an inheritance, you got to decide how to keep some of the money you have in your pocket and not spend it all. Amen. If Walmart is selling caskets, that means it's time for the American consumer to make a shift in the way we think about funerals. Amen. Because there is a financial side, and somebody here is a witness, because somebody here this year has had to go sit with the mortician and pay some long money. Amen. I'm not opposed to that business. Somebody has to do it. But have you ever wondered why the mortician smiles all the time? They're nice people, but they're in business. We got to make some decisions. So the month of December is the time to look at how much of an inheritance you are going to leave to your family. The month of January, many in this room do not have a will. Amen. You need one. Every state has certain laws that apply to your family when you pass. Certain things will happen automatically. Certain things your family will have to do automatically. If you have a will, you go in that office over there. If you don't have a will, you get in that long line over here. And it takes longer to get things done. And if the person wants you to have X, Y, and Z, if they write it down, it simplifies it when that time comes. And it solves so many fights in the family. Too many homes are torn apart now because so-and-so wanted the living room suit and you got it. And since you've had the living room suit, they won't come to your house and sit on it. And all such craziness happens when we close our eyes behind a set of dishes and behind some silverware. Amen. Our lives are important. Our quality of life is important. What we have as we go through the journey is important. What we leave to those yet coming along behind us is important. And while you have the opportunity to decide and to say who, what, where, when, and how, Now is the time to complete your homework. Amen.